19 seasons. 19 years of heartbreak and healing on a small ranch in the Canadian Rockies. Millions of fans across the world have watched the Fleming family grow, struggle, and triumph. But everything you think you know about Heartland is about to be turned upside down. Season 20 isn't just another chapter in the story. It's a complete game changer. And trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. For nearly 2 decades, Heartland has been the comfort show we all needed. It's been there through our own ups and downs, a constant reminder that family and home can heal any wound. The show has given us Amy Fleming, the horse whisperer with a gift passed down from her mother. We've watched her grow from a grieving teenager into a confident woman, wife, and mother. We've seen Ty Borden's transformation from a troubled kid into the man who captured Amy's heart. We've laughed with Georgie's quirky humor, felt Jack's wisdom in every gruff word, and found ourselves wishing we could sit on that porch at Heartland Ranch and be part of something so pure and real. The formula has worked like magic. Every season brings new horses to heel, new people who need the Fleming touch, and new challenges that test the family bonds. But here's the thing about formulas. They can become predictable. They can become safe. And safe doesn't always mean compelling television. The creators of Heartland know this. They've watched other long-running shows fade into irrelevance because they refuse to take risks. They've seen beloved series and not with a bang but with a whimper, their final seasons limping across the finish line as viewers slowly drift away. That's not going to happen to Heartland. The team behind season 20 has made a choice. A bold, terrifying, exciting choice. They're going to shake things up in ways that will make your heart race and your palms sweat. This isn't about adding a new horse or introducing a minor character who'll be gone by mid-season. This is about fundamental change. The kind of change that makes you question everything you thought you knew about the show. The kind of change that will have fans debating for months, maybe years. Think about the shows that have lasted this long. Very few make it to 20 seasons. And the ones that do either play it safe and slowly fade away, or they take massive swings that either revitalize the entire series or crash and burn spectacularly. There's no middle ground at this point. Heartland is standing at a crossroads, and the path they've chosen is the one less traveled. It's risky, it's dangerous, but it might just be brilliant. Let's talk about what's really happening behind the scenes. Season 20 isn't just another year at Heartland Ranch. The writer's room has been completely reimagined. New voices have entered the conversation, bringing perspectives that challenge everything the show has built. These aren't outsiders who don't understand the heart of Heartland. These are storytellers who love the show but refuse to let it become a museum piece. They're asking dangerous questions. What if Amy's gift isn't enough anymore? What if the ranch that's been a sanctuary for so many becomes the thing that needs saving? What if the next generation doesn't want the legacy they've been handed? Here's where it gets really interesting. The production team has been dropping breadcrumbs for months, and most fans haven't even noticed. Social media posts with cryptic captions. Behind-the-scenes photos that show locations we've never seen before. Cast members giving interviews where they choose their words very carefully, hinting at something massive without actually saying it. One actor described season 20 as the most emotionally challenging work I've ever done on this show. Another said fans will either love us or hate us, but they won't be able to look away. Those aren't the kind of statements you make about a typical season. The character arcs planned for season 20 are unlike anything we've seen before. Amy Fleming has always been the anchor, the steady presence who fixes everyone else's problems. But what happens when the fixer is broken? What happens when the person everyone relies on can no longer carry that weight? The show is exploring territory that feels almost uncomfortable for a series that's been defined by hope and healing. We're going to see vulnerability in ways that might actually hurt to watch. This isn't about a bad day or a rough patch. This is about fundamental questions of identity and purpose. And then there's the ranch itself. Heartland has always been more than just a location. It's a character in its own right, a place of magic and transformation. But season 20 is introducing threats that can't be solved with patience and understanding. Financial pressures that could force impossible decisions. External forces that don't care about the Fleming family legacy. The possibility that this sanctuary might not survive in a changing world. Imagine watching the place that's represented safety and home for 19 seasons suddenly become fragile and uncertain. Nobody wants to say it out loud. But let's be honest about what's really at stake here. Heartland has been living in a bubble of its own creation. A beautiful, comforting bubble where problems get solved in 43 minutes, where love conquers all, and where the good guys always win. But real life doesn't work that way. And season 20 is finally acknowledging that uncomfortable truth. The writers are done pretending that everything can be fixed with a heart-to-heart conversation and a sunset ride. They're introducing consequences that actually stick. Mistakes that can't be undone. Relationships that might be broken beyond repair. This is where longtime fans are going to feel the most conflicted. We fell in love with Heartland because it was an escape from the harsh realities of the world. It was the show we turned to when everything else felt too dark, too complicated, too real. But the creative team is betting on something radical. They believe the show can grow up without losing its soul. They think viewers are ready for a Heartland that reflects the complexity of actual human experience while still holding on to the core values that made it special. It's a massive gamble, because if they get it wrong, they risk alienating the very audience that's kept the show alive for 2 decades. The casting decisions for season 20 tell their own story. There are faces we won't be seeing as much. Not because of behind-the-scenes drama or contract disputes, but because the narrative is shifting focus in ways that require different energy. New characters are coming in, and they're not the typical Heartland archetypes. These aren't troubled souls looking for redemption or city people learning to appreciate country life. These are complicated individuals with their own agendas, people who might not be won over by the Fleming family charm. Some of them might actually be antagonists in the truest sense. Not villains, but people whose goals directly conflict with everything Heartland represents. And here's the part that's going to divide the fanbase right down the middle. Season 20 is exploring the idea that maybe, just maybe, holding on to the past isn't always the right answer. The show has always celebrated tradition, legacy, and the importance of roots. But what if those very things become chains that prevent growth? What if the next generation looks at Heartland Ranch and sees a burden instead of a blessing? What if they want to write their own story instead of continuing someone else's? These questions feel almost blasphemous for a show built on family legacy. But they're the questions that make season 20 feel urgent and necessary rather than just another year of the same comfortable patterns we've come to expect from this series. So where does all of this leave us? Standing on the edge of something that could either be the best thing that ever happened to Heartland or the beginning of the end. Season 20 represents a crossroads that every long-running show eventually faces. Play it safe and slowly fade into irrelevance, or take a massive risk that could breathe new life into the entire series. The creators have chosen the latter, and there's no turning back now. Once you break the formula that's worked for 19 seasons, you can't just glue it back together and pretend nothing happened. This is permanent change. This is evolution in real time. And it's going to be messy and uncomfortable and absolutely riveting to watch. The fan community is already fracturing before season 20 has even aired. Online forums are filled with heated debates between those who trust the creative team and those who think this is a betrayal of everything Heartland stands for. Some viewers are excited about the prospect of deeper, more complex storytelling. Others feel like they're about to lose the comfort show that's been a constant in their lives for nearly 2 decades. Both perspectives are valid. Both groups love Heartland deeply, but they have completely different visions of what the show should be moving forward. And here's the brutal reality. The creators can't please everyone. They've made their choice, and some fans are going to walk away feeling hurt and disappointed. But let's consider the alternative for a moment. Imagine if season 20 played it completely safe. Imagine if it delivered exactly what we've seen before, just with slightly different horses and slightly different problems. Would that really be better? Or would it just be the slow death of a show that's running out of things to say? There's something brave about a creative team that's willing to risk everything rather than coast on past success. They could have taken the easy path. They could have given us comfort food television for another few seasons until the ratings finally dropped enough to justify cancellation. Instead, they're swinging for the fences. They're trying to prove that Heartland can be more than just a nostalgia trip. They're betting that the show can evolve and still matter in a television landscape that's completely different from when it first premiered. Season 20 is going to force every single viewer to make a choice. Are you willing to go on this journey even if it takes you to places you never expected? Can you love a version of Heartland that challenges your assumptions about what the show should be? Or is the comfort and familiarity of the old formula too important to give up? There's no wrong answer. But one thing is absolutely certain. After season 20, Heartland will never be the same. The characters will be changed. The dynamics will be shifted. The very foundation of the show will be different. And we're all about to find out if that's a good thing or if some things are better left untouched. The countdown has begun. Everything is about to change. And there's no going back.